Alright, I'm doing a little trial run here. I've never used this thing before.
Oh, yeah. My name is Lamont Clyde Musselman, and I was born July 14th, 1949. I just celebrated my 58th birthday a couple of weeks ago. Well, about a week ago, actually. It wasn't a couple of weeks ago. And we live here in Palmerton, Pennsylvania. I was born in the hospital, but we lived in a little burg called Perryville, which is about 7 miles up the road. And actually, I wasn't born a Musselman. I was born a Chrisman. And I say my grandmother, well, my father was Linford Chrisman, Linford Edward, I think. I think his middle name was Edward. And my mother's name was Loretta Jane, and her maiden name was Frohnheiser. They came from this area on my dad's side. It was German, American Indian mix. On my mother's side, it was just German, I guess Pennsylvania Dutch, Low German, something like that. And that's basically it. Like I say, on my natural father's side, there's some American Indian in there, and this area around here, there was a reservation up where Beltsville Lake is today. If it'll be there then, we don't know, but it's there right now. And that's about it, I guess, for me.
Okay, my name is Valda Vanessa Musselman. I was born in a town called Malden in Essex, in England, 14th of February 1950. I have 5 brothers. I don't know. I knew my grandparents a little bit, but not very much on my mother's side and my dad's side, but we were never really close. So I really don't know if there were any other relatives except them. I really didn't meet anybody else except them. So, and I just lived in my little town. That's it.
What do you know about your parents' birth did you give us your birth date?
My mom's or mine?
No, yours.
Yeah, 14th of February 1950.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What was it like growing up? Different than it is today, I guess, for children. Like I say, I was the 7th of 7 children, which makes sense, I guess, sort of. But I was the youngest of the family. I have 2 brothers, 2 sisters. I had a sister that I never knew, and a brother that I never knew that would have been a year older than me. I say we moved a lot because I guess my natural father, Linford, he had worked for the Bethlehem Steel. He was Bethlehem Steel doesn't even exist anymore today, but I don't really know what he was. I think he was a craneman, something like that. But my mother was just a homemaker. There weren't too many women that worked in those days. You know, it was just not the thing. The economy was different. I don't remember too much about my really young childhood. I know we moved a lot. Like I say, when my parents had separated, and basically I just kind of remember this town. I remember some of the other places, but not all of them. I kind of remember when one of my brothers came home from the Korean War. We lived in Walnutport, and he came home. I had been in bed, or I was getting ready for bed, but I remember something about it. I was at the top of the stairs, and I saw him, and I jumped down the stairs, and he caught me and stuff like that. One of my brothers is now gone. Both of them were in Korea. I say the one sister, I guess she made it feel like about 2 years old now. No, some childhood disease. I myself had polio, and I overcame it. And I guess I contracted polio like when I was 11 months old or something like that, and I went for therapy till I was like about 15. But in that interim, like I said, we had moved a lot. In this town before the new road was built, the old road went through. There was a little. We lived down the street here about 2 blocks, actually about a block and a half, and then we lived in a place called Mogar's. It was like a hotel, and they had like rooms there and stuff. And that's when my mom had met Calvin. I say my name was Lamont Clyde Chrisman at the time, but she met Calvin, and they lived on a farm down in Seamsville. I was 10 years old. That was 1959, I think. Yeah, 1959, during the summer, because I know we moved down here in the fall and I started school. It was a 2-room schoolhouse. They had 1st and 2nd grade together, 3rd and 4th grade together, then 5th and 6th. And then you went on to a middle school. Well, actually, it was a middle school. They called junior high school at that time. It was 7th grade. But I was kind of raised on a farm from there. I did milk cows and throw hay, go out. We used to bale hay and go out in the combine and bag oats and stuff like that. Drive the tractor down to the mill and drive the pickup truck. Pick up my grandfather, who was my adopted grandfather. But I never thought of him that way, because once I was adopted, it was like I called him my dad. And Pappy was just Pappy. Me and the old guy never got along too well, because I don't know if there was what the aggravation was. He treated me okay, but you know, I think I was a little Dennis the Menace or something. I don't know, a little instigator, and I used to get under his skin. But he still liked me, I guess. So he sent me to town. In those days, when I was about 14, I guess, by that time, when I could drive a pickup truck, you didn't need a license if you were on a farm. And I'd take some stuff down to the mill. And I always remember he wanted me to pick up some beech nut chewing tobacco on the way. And he'd give me a quarter, which was like getting $10 today, I guess. But he'd give me a quarter to do that. And I always made sure I got him the hard stuff. You know, it was like a wad of hard stuff. Make sure. He'd say, "Well, make sure you get that." Yeah, you know, I get that. And then there's an ice cream stand on the way. Once in a while, I'd stop off there, get an ice cream or something. It's called the Copper Penny. And there's another one, Butz's Farm down the street. This was Seamsville, by the way, in Seamsville, which is, I say it's about 13 miles southeast of here, something like that. Where I was raised on the farm there, and then I graduated from Athampton High School. In those days, there were tech schools, and I actually started tech school in 11th grade when Liberty High School down in Bethlehem, they started a tech school. I went to electronics down there, and I didn't finish the 3rd year. So when I got out of high school at that time, I was thinking of going to college, but my stepfather and my mother, I guess they thought, you know, college was a waste of time, kind of thing like that. And they said, "Yeah, you don't want to college," you know, blah, blah, blah. So I started working for the telephone company. And, well, actually, when I got out of high school, I started working at Dorney Park. I was a ride operator. I put kids on rides. I was a kid myself, but anyway, put little kids on rides, and I went into the bigger rides and whatnot. Got my leg injured on one of the rides. Then I put in at different places, PP&L, Emerson Electric, the telephone company, and the telephone company was the only one that took my application. The Vietnam War was going on at that time, and it was kind of hard to get a job because they knew you were draft eligible. But let's draft is a conscription service. You know, they would, everybody had to register, and if you were healthy, you know, which by that time I had gotten over my disability, and even though I had a little limp, it didn't matter too much. They needed bodies, so I went in there. I didn't want to go in the Army. I figured if I get drafted, they'd put me in the Army and Marines, so I figured, actually what I did was I was a janitor for the telephone company, and I was there. I started in, well, 10 days after my 18th birthday. In fact, I got 40 years coming up Monday. But I started working there 10 days after my 18th birthday as a janitor, and then guys were coming out of the service at that time, and they'd work there 2-3 weeks. They'd go out as linemen, they'd go inside as switchman helpers or framemen. Those are guys that ran wires. And that was prior to cellular phones and all that stuff. That was prior to electronic switching. It was all mechanical switches and stuff. And line construction, putting poles in, stuff like that. But I wanted to get out and do that. But even though they had hired me, they wouldn't advance me because they said, well, hey, you're draft eligible. You know, we spend the money to train you. You know, you're going to have to do that. So I figured, well, screw it. You know, I may get drafted. So I went down and enlisted in the Air Force. I went in the Air Force. I was a cryptographer. What was that? April. I started in July of '67. So in I think it was like April of '68. Yeah, April of '68. I went into the Air Force. Went to boot camp, school for crypto, stuff like that. Came out. I was engaged to someone else. At the time, because you know you had a girlfriend and stuff, and you're going to be sent away, so you get engaged, all that kind of bullshit. And I say went over there. I went to England, and I was trained on a certain type of equipment, crypto equipment. So when I got over there, even though I was stationed at RAF Weathersfield, I went to various bases. I went down to Rice Slip and stuff like that. In the meantime, I met Val. And, you know, that was interesting. But we won't get into that. That's the next chapter. But I say, so I went in the service, and that was about it. To be continued.
Okay, growing up, with a house with 5 brothers was sometimes annoying. I would have to be doing the housework with my mother. But it was fun having 5 brothers. We could always go out and have lots of fun on the weekends. It was nicer, really, away from home than it was being in home. So we'd spend all day out of home. I used to like going, there was a little man that had ponies, and I used to like going over to his place and trying to ride ponies. It was fun to spend the whole day there. Had some friends there. Jane Hartop, that had the farm just up the road. Maggie was there too, and a couple of other girls that we used to hang around with and just, you know, help him do his work on the horse and the ponies, and then we'd get to ride them. I think the best times of my childhood, I think, was when my mother took us out for the day. Not with my dad. My dad would always spoil it. He would always be he'd be always okay, nice, and that, as long as nobody done anything wrong. As soon as somebody done something wrong, it would change the whole attitude of the day, and it would just wreck the whole day. So it was nice to kind of go with my mother for the day. Pack sandwiches and a flask full of tea, and that was really neat, that was. We had a lodger live at my house when I was younger. I really didn't remember him living there. His name was George, and he used to travel all over the world. Actually, he went to Nigeria and Spain, and every time he come back, he always brought something back for us. It was kind of neat, it was, especially for my mom. I think he liked my mom. But when he used to take us now and again to like the seashore, because he had a car. My dad didn't have a car. So we go to the seashore for the day, and that was nice. That was nice to do. Otherwise, it was just, you know, doing a normal thing growing up. You know, that's it. When I got out of school, I worked for a place called SADS. It was down Market Hill. Used to cover radios, material. I used to have to cut the material out, and the other women would stick it to the radios. And then after that, I got into touching up woodwork on TV sets and all kinds of stuff. And then I left there, and I went to work for a company called English Electric. That was kind of neat. There it was making all kinds of metal parts for whatever. It was just big parts, big machinery to run, or sometimes little machinery to run, or making metal parts. I used to hang around with Jane. For a while we hung out. Really didn't do anything. We kind of like didn't know what to do. There was only one movie theater in town. There was a couple of little coffee shops, but you kind of really didn't feel like going into them because the older kids went into them. We just used to walk around town, and that'd be really it. I had a couple of boyfriends, and got engaged once. Didn't work out. But, you know, that's life, so it goes on. But that's about it.
So what about your dad?
My dad was a lorry driver. He was.
He
So
ran.
he just done day rides. He went up to Covent Garden, up in London, once, I think it was on Monday, and he used to go and get a load of fruit on the truck and then bring it all down, and each town he passed through, they would stop at all the shops and drop all the fruit off they wanted, and then he'd be home. You know.
So he was home every night.
Home every night, yeah.
Do you feel like your parents got along fine?
No. No, my parents didn't get along fine.
Would you say either of you were troublemakers growing up? Did you ever get into any trouble, or regular old?
I do. Like I say, my natural father, like I say, my mother and him had split up. I was real young. I don't even know anything about it, really. I only met him in later years. But when I was like about 8 or 9 years old, prior to her meeting my adoptive father, there was a bunch of kids up in Weisport, in the town where my grandmother lived. We used to go up to my grandmother, hang out. He lived in town here at the time, down the road, and you could get on the bus for a dime. And I'd go up to my grandmother's house because I get my dime back, and usually some, quarter or something like that, go up, and you could get like a twin pop and a whole bunch of candy and stuff like that. But anyway, I guess I was a little bit of a juvenile delinquent because, well, I didn't have a father at the time. My sister used to beat the crap out of me if I did stuff. My next oldest sister, Karen, she's the one that kept me in line. But what happened the one time was the kids called the Brown, I don't even know their name, but their last name was Brown, so they were called the Brown kids. And I hung out with them one day, and we went up to the railroad track up in Weisport there, and luckily there was like a little cafe or something up by the railroad tracks where the train would stop, and I guess the guys that were on the train, plus people that worked in that area, stop off there, have coffee, stuff like that. If somebody saw us, we were down by the railroad track, there was a switch, and it had a lock on it, and I had a little knack of doing stuff with a bobby pin because I used to go into my sister's little chest at home and look at her goodies and stuff like that. But there was a lock on this thing, and I picked the lock, and the lock swung open, and we just used it like a seesaw. We were just kids, like I say, we were just going back and forth. It was fun. We didn't realize if we were doing anything wrong. And what happened was, the last time we went over on the seesaw, we had the track going through a side rail down to where they unload the cars. And luckily somebody had seen us up there, and they turned it in. And I remember I was in high school, not in high school, but I was in the Delaware Elementary School up here for some reason I remember the principal's name, Mrs. Opplinger. She reminded me of a German officer or something like that. I don't know what you would call it. She's like, she's probably a nice woman. I mean, I don't know. I was a kid. But anyway, I was in there, and these two guys came in with the jackets and the hats, you know, and they look like you saw them on TV, you know, in the old days on TV. They come in like a detective, like Joe Friday or something, and they wanted to know if this kid was there, and they pulled me into the library with the principal and stuff, and they asked me, and I spilled the beans. I'm sitting there like, yeah, I did this, I did that, you know. I didn't know what I was doing, but anyway, what was funny about that was that showed up in my record when they did an investigation on for my security clearance that I had for crypto when I was in the service. And on the farm, it was a little different because they were very strict there. I'd probably straighten my ass out, but like I said, they were very strict. I couldn't even go out and do things, you know. Well, we lived in the country, so I wasn't a town kid anymore. I was a town kid prior to that. And about the only thing I did bad one time, I wanted to go to this dance real bad, and my mom knew about it, but she said, I know nothing, kind of thing. And I took the old pickup truck to go to a school dance, and my dad found out about it, you know, and you know, he never really hit me, but you know, the thing was, you know, it scared the dickens out of me because he came home, he says, did you take the truck out? And I said, no, I didn't take the truck. Well, the engine was still warm and the odometer changed, but I never gave that a thought, that kind of thing. But anyway, that kind of thing, that was it, you know. And then I think I grew up more so once I got in the service, and because I was restricted, so like say from about 10 years old on, I really started enjoying myself a lot when I got in the service, so that's about it.
So, how'd you two guys meet?
Well, like I said, I had joined the service and went overseas, and
I called a guy up one time I was going out with. Let's make this short. I said, carried on with this thing. Okay. And he was supposed to be working, and he wasn't working, and Mark was working, and he talked to me, and so I decided to meet him one night, and that's how we met.
that's that.
That was the story?
Yeah, that was it.
That's it.
You were calling for one guy and got him.
Yeah.
And she was calling up, and I said, you don't want to go out with him, you want to go out with me. And I went over to see her, and I thought she was absolutely gorgeous. Red suede, miniskirt. But she probably thought,
I thought you done on you.
yeah.
What'd you think about him?
Thought it was
Weird.
rude, weird.
Pushy.
Pushy.
Kind of. It was just weird. Kind of thing. But yeah.
Well, I'm weird.
And that drew you to him, huh?
Huh?
That drew you to him? The weirdness and the
Maybe.
rudeness?
No, at the time I didn't have anything else to do. Yeah, honest. You know, it's like I did.
Yeah. But and we dated a few times after that and stuff, and we got engaged and then we got married. You know, and we moved on to.
My mom thought he was so nice.
Mom pushed you towards him?
Maybe.
No, well, I don't know really. I think, yeah, she really liked him. Let's say that, yeah.
How did your parents feel about the relationship?
Actually, they didn't
No.
say much because you know they weren't there. They knew I had been going with another girl prior to that from over there. To the fact, like I said, I was engaged even before I left to go over there. But here she goes again. You need details. No, anyway.
Stop trying now. Keep going with the flow. Come on.
But
We didn't know it. I mean, his parents were like over the next, you know, over the ocean. I mean, you know, it's like they were like Hickville type thing. You know, what are they going to say to him?
Hicksville.
Yeah. They were in Hicksville when we came back.
Yeah.
When we came here.
They loved her. Yeah. They weren't very nice
So
to
you guys
us.
got married in England?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long were you married there before you came back?
About a year and a half.
Not that long. Probably, yeah.
We got married December, Boxing Day, day after Christmas. English holiday over there, Boxing Day. December 26, 1970. And we came back here April-ish of 72. Something like that. She didn't really want to come, but it was more or less my decision because I said I had a job here and stuff. Maybe I should have stayed in the service. That's water over the dam, but I should have maybe. Who knows?
That could be.
That was a big.
That could be a tricky thing because it's not you.
I would have probably got on over there. Who knows?
It was more of a shock to me when I got here.
Mm.
It was totally different than what I expected. It wasn't. I didn't like it. I really didn't like it.
Yeah.
And
We stayed with my parents for a little while till we
hated it.
we moved into got
Trailer.
out of there as quick as we could. Found a trailer park up the street. Moved in there for a while till we found this place, and then we moved up here. And well, you were expecting Yvette. You were about 6 months, I guess, when we came back. So it wasn't long, because Yvette was born when we lived here, wasn't she? Or no, we were on the trailer yet, weren't you?
Yeah, the trailer.
Yeah.
What'd you pay for this place?
$8,500. They wanted 11,000, and that was in '73, February '73, something like that. I think it was.
We thought his dad would help us out a bit, or his parents would help us out a bit, but they didn't want anything to help.
Because they actually, unknown to me, because I say that when I left, I knew there was something, they weren't getting along, and I found stuff out afterward, and then, like I say, I found out my real father was a lot nicer guy than what he was made out to be. He never said anything bad about my mom, but my mom used to always say stuff about
They
him.
were just miserable.
Found out
people.
that she was.
They were. They just.
Well, they
had
were
loads of
miserable with
money.
each other and took it out on us, basically.
Yeah,
is
they
what
had
it
loads
was.
of money and just
Yeah.
so miserable.
And her parents didn't have nothing, and they were great. Her dad was nice to me. I never knew her dad, but she told me some things and stuff like that. And I saw some of it, but I knew he could piss him off real easy.
Yeah, very.
But her mom was nice. I told you my favorite bit about when we had our wedding.
I didn't like the part where I came here and I couldn't go back home. That was the part. I mean, it's not like I could look forward to going back home. I couldn't.
And we couldn't afford it.
And that was the part I hated. And his parents and his family were around here all the time. Though he says, he didn't tell them to be here, but it's not like we could have moved to another state, and they would have been better because we'd have been equal. Then if we'd have moved to another state, but we weren't. So then it just built.
Yeah.
So did this cause a lot of friction in your guys' relationship?
Oh,
Very,
big time.
very.
Big time.
I absolutely hated him.
Yeah. But I
To be
loved
honest
her the
with
whole
you,
time.
I did. It's
She pissed me
weapons
off
I
now and then.
used. I was hurt, and I used any weapon I could,
Mhm.
and I hated him. Half the time I hated him because I was stuck here all the time. I couldn't get out. I couldn't call my mom. They didn't have phones, so I couldn't call her up and say, "Hey, Mom, how you doing?" I didn't have that privilege.
No, I couldn't
so
even
it's
do
like,
that.
Just like guilt. Guilt. It took me a long time to get over it. I don't really think I'm over it, but I accepted the fact that I'm here. I accepted the fact because of my daughters. I accepted that they got a better education. They got more stuff out here than they would have in England. So that to me is worth it. But my life, no, it's not. It wasn't worth it.
No.
Wasn't.
It wasn't at the time.
No.
No.
It would have been better if it'd been more equal, and it wasn't equal. So sorry.
So
And one of the
first-
reasons we never split up was because I kind of understood that, and that used to piss her off so bad because I said, I understand stuff, but she She says she hated me, but I think she cared though, because otherwise she wouldn't. Well, she couldn't leave, but you know, it's still not the point.
Leave.
She couldn't leave. But I mean, I loved her. I did.
I couldn't leave.
I still do.
Yeah.
But you know,
It's just so hard. It was just really hard.
it was tough.
Like I imagine sometimes, you know, your wife gets homesick sometimes, you know, maybe a little bit, that you just want to escape, you know, and, you know.
And what do they say? If Mama's not happy, nobody's happy.
But it was fun with the kids, though. I mean,
Yeah.
over here it was fun with the kids. We had
a lot of fun with them and
Yeah.
did stuff.
we just kind of, it was better after a while because then we just kind of centered on the family. Some of his relatives I didn't want to have anything to do with.
Now, some of my relatives remind you, you ever see the film Deliverance? Check it out. You see what I mean?
They were up the line. They were really weird people, and I
Weird.
didn't want my children to be happy because I saw what they were doing with their kids, and I didn't want to have that. I wanted my kids to be brought up a little bit better. I'm sorry, I just did, you know. I wanted them to do things and that. You know.
Tell me about your kids. Who are your kids?
Who are our kids?
Yvette, Phaedra, and Renee.
Yeah. Yvette Jeanine was born September 20th or 21st, 1972. Then
Phaedra.
Phaedra was born January 16th, 1975. And then Renee was born June the 6th or 8th, 6th,
And we have one daughter in between
that we lost.
that we
Yeah.
lost.
That's a sad story. Don't
Oh,
really want to go into it too much.
She lived for an hour. She was, I was 6 months expectant. She died. You know, that's it.
What are your kids doing now?
They're doing
Everything.
great.
Everything.
They're fantastic.
They're all
I'm
out of
very-
the house?
Yeah, I'm very
Oh, yeah.
proud of my daughters. I'm very proud of them. Oh,
Yeah.
God, they've done wonders. They have.
Yeah.
They've done things that I would never dream of. They have.
What was weird was, you know, we had them in ballet, piano lessons, all that stuff, and all the dainty little girl things, and every one of them joined the service, and I never mentioned a damn thing about the service to them. Yvette went first, and the service helped them out a lot, you know, I think. You know, and they went in there, and they just did well. You know, Yvette went, well, she tried college first of all, didn't do too well there, and then,
Oh.
because that was the first one we actually paid for that, and that kind of disheartened us. But she didn't
Yeah,
go to classes and stuff like that. But she did. I mean,
Yeah,
look
but
at now.
they did that, didn't
Yeah,
they?
kids
I mean,
do
Faith's
that
done the
stuff.
same thing. You know, they want to
Yeah.
go to school or want to go
Mhm.
to college, and then it's like, oh, fun time. You know,
Yeah.
they find out later on that it's not fun time. You know, which is hard, I think, when they get out of high school. You know, to go right into college. You know,
Mhm.
so I think sometimes they should just get a regular job and actually see what the world's like.
Yeah.
You know, before they go straight into college. You know, it's like, I don't want you to think.
But they all went to college, except, well, Renee, I don't think Renee's been to college yet, but she's planning on taking some courses sooner or later. I guess she likes medical stuff, so she says. So she always wanted to be what was her thing? Physical trainer. She wanted to be a physical trainer or something like that. Something like that.
But she
Yvette.
did excellent.
I don't know what Yvette wanted to do, really. She never really said, but Phaedra, Christ, she wanted to be everything. She wanted to be veterinarian. She wanted to be like an animal thing, animal trainer and stuff like that. She wanted to teach, and now she's flying.
That's neat, though.
Or
It
Yvette
is.
got her MBA now, and Renee's stationed over in England. You know, she's here right now for a couple of days, and they'll be gone soon with the grandchildren. That's kind of cool.
It's neat. It's neat having
Yeah.
grandkids. It is.
Yeah.
They're lovely. They are.
So your relationship started out a little rocky because of the distance and the family issues.
Yeah.
Your kids probably held you guys together, helped you
Yeah.
out more
oh,
than...
yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And, you know, what held us together too, I think, was, you know, we were both in a bad situation, you know. Like I say, I knew what she was going through, and it's like, and there wasn't a damn thing I could do about it, you know. But we worked it out, and we had a lot of good times too. You know, it wasn't just bad, you know, it was bad times, but we had a lot of good times.
Yeah. It worked out.
Had a lot of fun.
It did, you know. It did. Would have been nicer, you know, maybe if his parents would have been a bit more nicer to us.
Yeah, they weren't nice at all.
Yeah, you know, it would have been nicer.
Can you identify like a turning point in your guys' relationship where you realized, okay, I might be able to do this? Or, I mean, there was a long time where you
Yeah.
felt like you would leave any minute if you could. If somebody would buy the plane ticket, you were getting ready to go.
Oh,
But
yeah.
was there ever a point, do you remember, in your life or in your relationship that you said, you know, maybe I can go ahead and press forward with this? I think I do love them enough to keep going
I think
and
when
make
the
a
girls
life
were
with them.
younger, when they were younger, it was just the beginning parts, you know. It was like, you know, my mom couldn't see the children when they were born type thing, you know. It's like, but when the girls got in, you know, like 5 or something like that, it was a lot better than it was.
Mm-hmm.
It was just really tough at the beginning. It was.
Because, like I say,
Especially like when you have, okay, like his sister come up. I mean, she's nice. Karen's nice. But when she comes up and she says, oh, that looks like a Christmas, straight off the bat, you know, I mean, oh, all my kids look like Christmas. I was like, well, wait a minute, you know, he didn't have the kids. I had, you know, that was the part, you know, that were the little digs that just kind of rubbed the wrong way with me. It just upset me. You know, it's kind of like, you know, they all thought that, oh, it's always their side family. It's kind of like, wait a minute, you know, you keep your side family. So, you know, it's like, yeah, so it's like, you know.
So what were some of the good things in your relationship? What some of the good things about her, some of the good things about him? What do you like about him? What
He reads to me.
he reads to you?
Yes. He has more patience with me. And he helps me out. If I ever need help, he can really help me out. You know, if I need help with anything, he understands me. He puts up with me. You know,
How long have you guys been married now?
a long time.
36 years.
Is he right?
Huh?
Is he right?
Right on what?
On the amount of years.
Yeah.
What's kept you guys together for 36 years? Children have been out of the house for a while now, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
What's kept you guys together? What's the secret to 36 years of marriage?
Now we want to do things together, don't we?
We want to do things. I
We
mean,
wanna do
we
things.
have a lot of stuff in common that we like.
Yeah, we like
You know,
music.
we like traveling. We like doing arts and crafts. You know, anything creative, stuff like that. You know, she likes her flower things, and I like flowers. You know, all kinds of stuff. You know, I like. You know, we wish we could do more, and hopefully.
We hope that we can do more when
Yeah.
he retires, because we want to go places. We want to just go and walk around, you know, just go to different.
Yeah,
things.
you don't have to spend a
We
lot
don't.
of
We
money.
don't want. You know, we don't
Yeah.
have to go and spend, you know, loads of money on a motel. We'd rather just go somewhere, camp the night or something. You know, that'd be fun to do.
Mhm.
And we don't have to look perfect for each other, which is great. You know, it's kind of nice. Yeah.
I think we've already told everybody why you'd be wearing a lime green shirt right now.
Why are we wearing it?
Why are you wearing a lime green shirt? Why do you own a lime green shirt?
Oh, why do I own it? Now I'm wearing it. I'm wearing it because I picked it out of my closet this morning. But I wear a lime green shirt. These, you know, where I work for Verizon, which is a third name it's under now. It's just it's a requirement because you know you work along the road and stuff like that, and you want to be seen. We have reflective vests and stuff like that, and you know that's why I wear it.
Safety.
Safety, you know, basically. You know, way she can see me.
Are there any significant events in your past that kind of stick out in your mind? Something that you'll always remember where you were when that happened, or some things that you know you'll never forget?
I have one.
John F. Kennedy.
John F. Kennedy being shot, and the Man on the Moon.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yep, I was in 8th grade in junior high school when Kennedy was shot, and we were in your living room when they landed on the moon.
Oh,
Remember that? Oh, yeah, we were watching. It was on TV. He said, "You're living in I forget what year it was, but I know where I was at the time. The Apollo. You know. And the other one would be 9/11. That I remember because I was out at Kennan Air Force Base on my evaluation for team chief for the military, and we had just sat down to eat breakfast, and we saw they had the TV on. We're sitting there eating, and we saw this plane crash in the building, and it's like, that's kind of stupid. You know, what's the guy doing? And then a couple seconds later, well, minutes later, I guess it was, the other one crashed in, and I thought, oh crap, something was up. I didn't know exactly what was up. I knew it was wrong then, and it's just that those are kind of things I remember where I was. And the day we got married, I remember that because I had to siphon gas out of a military vehicle to fill up the truck to get over there, and it doesn't snow in England, not much. And the day we got married, man, it snowed like hell. You know, we had fun getting over there. Me and the best man. He's from Steubenville, Ohio, where what's his name from? Jerry Lewis's partner, and Dean Martin, born in Steubenville, Ohio. Because John used to tell me that all the time. He says, Dean Martin was born there. I'm like,
He's a funny old guy.
yeah, he was kind of dweeby. But he was my buddy. He was a dweeb, but he's my buddy. You know? Yeah. Future plans?
Enjoy life.
Yeah. Hope I live long enough to enjoy my retirement. That's one of the things I want to do. But I think I will. Hope I will. But we just want to hopefully do things that you couldn't afford in your younger days.
Yeah.
And hope you're active enough and healthy enough to do them. Kind of thing. I think we will be, but you never know. Here today, gone tomorrow. You never know that stuff.
What are your guys' religious beliefs?
Well, I believe in God. But I don't have to go to church to God to believe in God. But I definitely believe in God. I don't know if you do.
Huh?
I've got more religious over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I have. But, I say prayers every night for everybody that's, in my family. I do.
No, I don't pray, but I believe in God. Call him what you want, but I believe there's a supreme power out there.
So you're not specific about a Christian God or a Muslim God or a...
Yeah. I believe,
just there.
I believe if the Muslims believe in Allah and Christians believe in Jehovah and, Buddhists believe in Gautama Buddha and Indians believe in the other dude, whatever his name, the blue fella. He's the same person. It don't matter. There's only one center, and we all come out of that. Everybody comes out of that.
Just that man has changed it.
And I don't believe we evolved. I don't believe that at all.
Not with the apes.
Not from the apes, no.
Come on.
I believe in evolution, but not that kind of evolution. I believe the missing link is out there, somewhere in space.
I just think it's a shame that people really can't get along. People with power, like they run this country, and all they do is use the money where they're supposed to give it to the poor people, and they're supposed to help poor people, and they don't, and they just ruin their country. It's such a shame when you see through history. You could see it. How one's taking over power, and they're just greedy with it. I don't understand how they can get so greedy with that. I just don't understand that, how they could be so, cruel to people.
And like me, having been in various countries through the military and stuff like that, I've worked elbow to elbow with Afghanis, with Iraqis, with English people and stuff like that, and the majority of the average person, they just want to earn a living for their families and stuff like that. They're not interested in beating up the next guy or stuff like that. You know, everybody, you know.
I mean, I know you get Iraq, you know, there's people that do it, but
Yeah.
it's a shame, though.
So what are your political views? What do you believe government's job is? Why do we have government? What are your political views, basically?
Well, I think government's supposed to help the people,
Government's supposed
but
to
I don't think it's
maintain
doing it
order.
very good.
You know, they should maintain order and not allow a lot of the stuff that they themselves do. You know, they shouldn't allow it. You know, they get into power and stuff like that, and they forget that maybe they were, not generally the case anymore, but in the old days, that they were little people too at one time. You know, and they get up there and they forget that
They're supposed to help the little people.
if all the people in the world, you know, they say, well, yeah, you can make a difference. Yeah, you can, but it's tough to get those people that can't afford stuff to get together. So you don't have the ways and the means to do that. But I think in today's society, with the computers and television being instantaneous and stuff like that, I think the average person gets to see a little bit more, and hopefully they'll think along those lines and say, hey, you know, that guy's a screwball, or this guy's not right. But then again, if you're not in that oppressed state, you don't know, you know, where the fear factor comes in there. You know, they fear for their lives and stuff, so sometimes they go along with things. But, you know, in general, I say people are just trying to survive. And I think people with power take advantage of that. You know, I really do. Political views, you know, I'll tell you my political views. When I went down to register to vote, I didn't know the first time I went down to vote that you had to be affiliated with a party to vote on issues. So I went down and I said I wanted to be non-affiliated. So when I went down to vote, I couldn't vote on certain things. I thought, well, what the hell is that? You know, I can't vote. So then they said I had to be a Republican or a Democrat. And what I did was I get all these people that are in suits and stuff. I come in with my work clothes on and stuff like that. They say, well, you got to choose. I said, all right. I pulled out a quarter and I said, heads I'm Republican, tails I'm a Democrat. I flipped it, came up heads. It says, make me a Republican. And that's the way it was. You know, because I don't give a damn what you are. You know.
And I can't vote.
She can't vote.
So it's like, you know.
She's a alien. Not a legal alien, but she's an alien.
All I need is my spaceship.
Yeah. Like when the Jehovah's Witnesses came around the door that day. Remember?
Oh, you're going on too far.
That was funny. That was funny, man. They woke me up. I'm taking a nap, and they come up, and we're watching. What makes me remember that is we were watching Alf right now, and they're knocking on the door, and I have to go up to the door, and they're like, yeah. And the first thing out of their mouth was, you know, they're dressed there. They got the kid with them, and they're something, you know, dressed. You know, I hate to say this, but you know, if you would die tomorrow, do you know where you would be? And I go like, yeah, you know where the planet Melmac is? They turned around and left. Remember that? That was cool. I liked it.
So why are you an illegal alien still?
Oh, she's not a legal alien.
Illegal.
Oh, she's a legal alien.
I just didn't want to give up my citizenship.
So you want to keep a piece of home
Kind of.
some way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I might have to give that up soon.
So you will be a U.S. citizen, you think, soon?
Maybe.
We got to check.
It's on the burner. It's on the back burner.
We got to check some things because it has to do with
They're raising
retirement issues and money issues.
Yeah, the
and stuff like
money.
that.
I mean, you know, the retirement issues, and also how much they're trying to get out of me by raising the prices of my alien card prices up. You know, because I have to go down to Philadelphia to get my mugshots done and some more paperwork, and it costs several $100s. And they're raising it, so it's kind of like, it's not fair. It's not, you know.
And the thing is, you know, she's worked here.
I pay
She worked.
taxes.
She worked over there on the basis of that. She worked here and pays taxes and everything like that, and yet they do that. You know, it's like bullshit. You know.
Is there anything you guys want to say to anybody? Children, grandchildren?
It's been a good life.
Mm.
It has been interesting. It has.
Been funny.
Yeah.
Been sad.
Yeah.
But for the most part,
It goes fast.
oh yeah.
God, your life goes so fast. You can
Yeah.
remember. You can remember when you're 26 or something, and then all of a sudden you're like 50 something, and it's like, where did the years go? It goes so fast. It does.
Mhm.
Just enjoy life. You know? That's the best thing. Take care of mom and daddy too, because you know you never know how long you have them, and then when you have children, you realize what your mom and daddy went through. You know, so that's kind of, take care of them because they always took care of you. Travel, do some traveling.
Yeah.
That way you get to meet all new people.
And I think, you know, your outlook changes a lot more, especially when you have your grandchildren. You
You got
know,
more time for them.
you got more time for them and stuff. But it's
Yeah.
neat, you know, they're
They're like
individuals and stuff like that. But
sponges.
yeah, and they soak
suck
up everything.
all the info you give them. It's like, wow.
As long as they remember some of my jokes. But yeah, they're neat. You know, it's neat to see your children, how they develop too. You know, as they get older and
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
they start having children and they tell you this and stuff, and you go, yeah, I know that. I know
I know
that.
that.
I know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah. Remember? Told you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is neat to see, you know, and you like,
And
you
like
definitely
goes.
want to see them. Your main object, I think, is if your children do better than you,
That's it. That's all that counts.
you've done your job.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
Yeah.
nice to see. You know, it's nice to see that, and you want them to be happy. You want everything to go right for them, and you know.
Because it doesn't matter
See.
how old you get, you're always parents.
Yeah.
You know, it's nothing that you can just kind of like just get rid of type thing. It doesn't matter if you. I can imagine if you're like 60, you still worry about your children.
Yeah.
You do.
I think it's easy to see what your guys' proudest accomplishment in life is.
Hmm.
Your children.
Mm.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. They mean the world to me. They do. You know.
Yeah.
And the grandchildren do too. So it's like
Oh,
great.
yeah. Worth more than gold.
Oh, I do. I do. Definitely.
All right.
That's it. Good.
This interview is conducted by Brett Henniger on July 21st, 2007. We're going to take a quick walkthrough of the Lamont and Valda Musselman home. This is their garden, which, as you can see, they do love their flowers and their gardening.
And the pond will be built sooner or later.
And there's a pond here that's been under construction for 10 years.
Yeah. Oh no, not that long.
It's
The
getting
house
there.
has, but not that pond.
Yeah.
Pond's only about 5 years.
Okay, have tea.
Yeah.
Oh. Sorry, David. Sorry.
This is Braden Henniger, sound asleep, son of Renee Henniger. This home was built in the early 1900s. It's under remodel right now. They're tearing down the walls, the old plaster walls. They found two small pistols wrapped up in towels or t-shirts inside the walls of one of the, I think it was this bedroom. This is the main bedroom. I've got grandchildren in right now. And the third floor. These are all Pennsylvania row houses. This village was, or town, borough was constructed for a zinc company. The workers of the New Jersey Zinc Company. This is the bedroom where Renee Musselman grew up. Was Fader's bedroom. Now it's half office. This is Renee Henniger and Autumn Henniger having a 6 o'clock in the evening nap. And that's it.